Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Grant Show. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how EFT tapping sound baths can actually help improve your productivity. We all know we want to be more productive. There's really no secret there, but unfortunately, stress, anxiety often get in the way. So in this episode of the Dr. Grant Show, I'm going to be covering how EFT tapping sound baths can help you reduce stress, achieve clarity, and also reduce anxiety. So we'll be together for just a little bit under 30 minutes. And during that time, I'm going to be talking about EFT tapping sound baths. What are they? How do they work? As well as how exactly do or can an EFT tapping sound bath contribute to your productivity. This will also be followed by a live demonstration and a treat to a brief EFT tapping sound bath. So let's go. I'm going to go over back here in my studio space here and begin explaining a little bit more about EFT tapping sound baths with my handy sound bath items here. Okay. Okay. All right. So the first question is, what is an EFT tapping sound bath? An EFT tapping sound bath is a combination of both EFT tapping, which is emotional freedom technique, commonly known as tapping, and sound baths, which can include crystal singing bowls, Tibetan singing bowls. They can use steel tongue drums. They can use vocal toning, which is using your voice to contribute to the sound bath itself. Tuning forks, chimes, koji chimes. As you can see, there's a lot of different things that we could use. You can use one of my favorites here, a rain stick. You can use thunder drums. I think suffice it to say that you're beginning to get the idea that there are a lot of different things that can go into a sound bath. Some people I've seen use harps, for example. There are so many things, but traditionally when we talk about a sound bath itself, what we're talking about is the use of, for your foundational pieces, a Tibetan singing bowl or a crystal singing bowl. I prefer to use quartz crystal singing bowls because of the very huge and immense benefit for having a pure tone and pure frequency that's undisturbed. Both can be very effective. So let's get a wee bit into the science of sound baths. I'll cover this in the course of just 1 minute. As you see here, each crystal singing bowl emits a glorious tone, but sound baths using singing bowls is not just simply great notes all mushed together to sound very pretty and relaxing. Now, according to scientific studies, sound baths and sound therapy have also been used in studies pertaining to reducing depression symptoms, anxiety symptoms, as well as reducing pain. So these are scientifically proven and verified. That's one of the reasons why I want to cover this with you, is because it's more than just pretty notes. There is an actual effect that's going on with the actual frequencies that are emitted by these singing bowls. And one of the things that usually is occurring is something called brain entrainment, where it's working on the actual brain waves. For example, as we're speaking right now, and as you're listening to this episode right now, your brain is in what's called beta. As you fall into a deeper level of concentration, your brain goes into what's called alpha waves. When you're falling asleep or when you just begin to wake up out of a well or hopefully restful sleep, your brain is in theta waves. When you're deeply into sleep, your brain falls into delta waves. And some people also throw gamma waves at the very top of it before we go into beta. But anyway, your goal and where transformation happens, where rewiring the brain and reprogramming the brain happens, and how you reach the subconscious mind is when your brain waves are in that alpha and theta state. Using crystal singing bowls, because of the purity of the tone and the sound, helps you get there on two additional points. Each individual frequency that is emitted by a crystal singing bowl is more than a pretty sound. I know I keep harping on that, and there's a reason for that. It is connected with certain what's called chakra points of the body. Now, before you guys say I'm going all woo-woo on you, hear me out. Scientific studies have shown that chakras exist. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with chakras, chakras are several points in the body that are essentially tied and attributed to certain things, such as your throat chakra and your ability to speak. So if you've ever been in a meeting, for example, and you wish that you could have said something, anything, but for some reason I felt like the cat got your tongue, that's your throat chakra being blocked at work. You have your root chakra, which sits at the very base of your spine. You have your sacral chakra, which sits here at your hips. You have your solar plexus chakra that's sitting here in your belly. You have your heart chakra. Often people talk about how heart chakra is being blocked. When you're having a difficult time receiving and giving love. Throat chakra, we already covered. We also have our third eye chakra, and we have our crown chakra. The chakras are not a hierarchical thing. So if you get one thing unblocked, for example, that doesn't mean that everything else is going a-okay. A Russian scientist by the name that starts with a K, Kosmatov, I may be mispronouncing his name, he was one of the first scientists to actually document that chakras not only exist, but found a way to measure them and measure the actual bioenergetic field that's being emitted from people. So there's your science. And for those of you that want the actual name correctly spelled out, just go ahead and send me a DM and I'd be more than happy to send it over to you. So we have documented that chakras exist. We've documented that they also can be measured. We also have found through scientific research studies that they do influence our productivity levels, how we feel, how calm we feel, how not calm we feel. Now, EFT tapping, what is it and why should you care? EFT tapping stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. The science is steadily mounting on the effectiveness of using EFT tapping from boosting concentration, boosting productivity, decreasing anxiety, decreasing depressive symptoms, as well as pain and addressing pain. How it works? It works by touching upon and interacting with the body's meridian system. If that word sounds vaguely familiar, it is because it is something that's taken from Asian medical and medicinal approaches. They're commonly accessed if you've ever gone to an acupuncturist. And what they're working on are the body's energy meridians. Now, according to scientific studies, your energy meridians are stretching from the very tips of your toes to the tops of your head. EFT tapping works with the major energy meridian points. So the end result is you're beginning to feel calmer. You're reducing your stress. You're reducing your anxiety. So what happens when we combine EFT tapping with crystal singing bowls for a sound bath or sound bath therapy? Amazing things happen. We are able to quickly access the subconscious mind, and this facilitates a recoding and rewiring of your brain. It also helps you get those issues that may have been blocking your productivity out to the forefront. Now, the key and the only way that this is going to be extremely effective is if you are combining this with a touch of psychology, well, maybe a big chunk of psychology, because your EFT tapping session and your sound bath session can only be as effective as the questions that are used to uncover what the true root of the problem is. So if we're going superficial in a therapy session here, not therapy, but in a discussion session here, and we're not getting to the main points and the root of the problem, then we're only tapping, no pun intended, on the surface of what's really bothering you. And we're not going to be able to get underneath what the main issue is so that we can identify it, shine a light on it, begin to massage and prune apart your neuroacoustic attachment to the problem so that you can begin to alleviate the problem. And that is what an EFT tapping sound bath does. That's what the actual process is. We're utilizing neuroacoustic biofield code. And once we find out what your code is, then we can help boost your productivity. We can help reduce food cravings, since I work with people that are stressed emotional eaters and food addicts, because we're getting and identifying the root of the problem. Okay, so let's go through a session together. Okay, all right, and then I will make sure to take any questions that might have been left in the chat. And if you guys just want to relax and listen, feel free. So EFT tapping, how do we start? Where do we start? We start with these two fingers here, and we start with an intention. What is something that's been blocking you in your productivity? What is the first thing that comes to mind? This is your time now to breathe in, breathe out. Let's do that again. Breathe in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 4. One more time. Breathe in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 4. Now, focus on your intention. Do you have a big meeting coming up this week that you're worried about, that you are feeling a little bit clueless on? You're wondering how you should enter the meeting. You want to walk into that virtual meeting in full command and control, but you've got some nagging little thoughts that are perhaps telling you, who are you to do that? You're not the right gender. You're not the right ethnicity. Who are you to do that? You don't know enough. You didn't research said item enough. Whatever right now is the thought that's floating in your head, begin to identify what is blocking you from achieving peak productivity. If it's someone that you need to have a conversation with, for example, and you're struggling to find the words to get your team together, if you're a leader, or maybe it's one particular person and you're looking for inspiration on how to say what you need to say, allow that intention to float to the top of your mind right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Ask yourself right now, not why is this happening to me? Because it doesn't help your brain shift into finding the solution. Instead, for whatever your challenge is, ask yourself, what do I need to know? What solution am I possibly overlooking that's right there? What action do I need to take right now? What would happen if things were different? Breathe in and breathe out. Now that you have that intention in your mind, it's time to rate the intention that you have on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the challenges that I'm having with this issue. It feels heavy. It feels like a grapple hook. It feels like it's overwhelming. To 3 and below, feeling like I think I've got this. I think I can handle this. Take time to rank and rate your feeling about your intention now. Okay? All right. So I am going to make myself a wee bit more comfortable. All right. All right. So now you've ranked your intention on a scale of 1 to 10. Once again, 8 and above mean that this issue that's pressing upon you, how you feel about this issue, it feels heavy. It feels a wee bit insurmountable. To 3 and below, you feel like you can handle it. There is a possibility that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You feel in control. Now that you've ranked your intention, begin tapping. Only thing that you will need is really yourself and perhaps, if you like, a pair of headphones. If you're right-handed like I am, just begin tapping on the karate chop point here, which is the side of your hand. Breathe in, breathe out. And using EFT tapping, we start with a script. And traditionally, it starts with these words. Even though, you usually insert whatever your challenge is. And then you conclude with, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And you continue tapping through several key major acupuncture points. And the reason why this is so effective is we're using, instead of needles, acupressure, which there is a plethora of scientific evidence and research studies that show how effective acupressure is on the meridian points. There have also been double-blind studies as well. The double-blind study means essentially we try to do it the correct way, and then we try to do it the way that makes it look like it's correct, but there were key ingredients missing. So we know that this works. Begin tapping on the karate chop point. You have your intention, how you feel about that intention. Now we're going to get your mind oriented around the solution and begin to kind of untangle that emotional attachment to the problem. And state, even though, in this case, we're gearing towards productivity, so even though I may have overlooked, you're repeating after me, by the way, even though I may have overlooked the solution, I both deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Breathe in, breathe out. When ready, move to tapping at the top of the head. Breathe in and breathe out. And repeat after me. Even though in the past I may not have given myself permission to see the solution to my challenges clearly because of how I felt about me. I both deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping on the top of the head. When ready, move to tapping. You can use one hand or two. Move to tapping on the inside of the brow and repeat after me. Even though I couldn't see how deserving I am of my goals for work, for this project, for my future, I'm beginning to see now that I am deserving. I am enough. I am capable. I am resourceful. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping on the inner brow. Now we will move to tapping on the outer brow. Repeat after me. Even though I sometimes find my emotions and my thoughts are all over the place regarding this problem or this project or that person, I give myself permission to allow those thoughts to come. They are merely signals my body is giving me. Signals to let me know how uncomfortable it can be sometimes when I'm trying something new. but I am capable. I am resourceful. I can do it. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping on the outer brow. When ready, move to tapping here underneath the eye. You can choose to use one hand or two. And repeat after me. Every day, I am learning more about myself. Every day is part of a journey. Every day, I give myself permission to experience that journey, to uncover my superpower, to evolve into my strength. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping underneath the eye and allow these waves of sound to wash through you. When ready, move to tapping from the top of the lip and repeat after me. Even though I may have felt uncomfortable in my body, I feel like people know what's going on in my head. I feel like people can see what the scale said this morning. I choose today to know my work outshines anything and everything that I may think about myself. I am capable. I choose to allow people to see how capable I am. Every day, I choose to allow myself to feel a little bit more comfortable in my body when I enter a room than what I felt and what I was yesterday. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Breathe in, breathe out. When ready, move to tapping on the chin. Repeat after me. Even though I may not have felt as creative as I wanted to in the past, so I could find the solution to that problem, I realize now I was as creative as I could have been at the time and with the time I was given. If faced with that same situation again, I take the lessons and I know I will perform greater than I've ever expected. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping on the chin. We're almost done. Breathe in, breathe out. Begin tapping on the collarbone and repeat after me. Even though in the past I may have felt like I wasn't worthy of respect, I let go of that today. I give myself permission to attract people that treat me with respect effortlessly. And I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Continue tapping on the collarbone. Last one. When ready, move to tapping underneath the arm, 4 inches below the armpit. Repeat after me. I completely let go of any thoughts and emotions, memories that told me I wasn't good enough. I give myself permission to be open to my transformation and to know that I am and always was good enough. Stop tapping when you're ready. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, I imagine at this point, the way you felt about that original intention has drastically reduced now from the number that it was previously. So, for example, if the way you felt about that problem that was challenging your productivity, you felt that it was at an 8 or above, now that number should be at a 3 or below. However, if for any reason you don't really feel like it's at a 3 or below, that's okay too. Then save this episode, bookmark it, refer to it often, or it may be time for a deeper and more personal dive where a divine EFT tapping sound bath is created and tailor-made just to your specific situation. And that ensures maximum effectiveness and full power in terms of really needling at that problem, the challenge that you had that was blocking your productivity, and crafting a solution that works. It's one of my dearest and greatest joys to help untangle the strings and the pieces of the puzzle that people experience. It's blocking their productivity. And in the wake of finding the solution together, people have not only seen their productivity skyrocket, but they also have experienced extreme clarity on what their next move needs to be, what their purpose is, what their gifts are, and the confidence to just stride and step forward in that. If you're not experiencing that right now, at this very second, if you're not living and breathing the confidence and knowing that you are capable and have everything inside of you to accomplish what it is you were put here to do, if you're finding yourself emotionally eating, stress eating, or binging at night or throughout the day, you're not binging or emotionally eating because there's a lack of willpower or you don't know how to count calories. The real reason why people that are seeking to boost their productivity, but they may also struggle with, like my clients, emotional eating or stress eating or food addiction or even just nighttime binging, is because they need a solution to their problem that's been tailor-made just for them, that takes into account their past, their present, and their future. And we get to work on identifying from a tactical perspective, as well as an energetic perspective, a biological perspective, fitness perspective, and even food perspective. It is a total integrative approach. It is one of, once again, my greatest joys when I work with clients. So if this is something that sounds good to you, you need to find out what your neuroacoustic biofield code is. That is really the key to understanding what's been missing and what's been keeping you from achieving your goals, from productivity to career aspirations to health aspirations. So if this is sounding pretty intriguing to you, definitely reach out to me. I am on edibleaddiction.com. My name is Dr. Kirsten Grant, and I am the host of the Dr. Grant Show. We are on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and on Saturdays at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys, thank you so very much for joining us here on the Dr. Grant Show. I'm going to take a look and see if there are any additional comments that I may have missed as we stream across all social media platforms. This is live. All right, let me take a look here, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, all right, I didn't miss anybody. Fantastic. All right, guys, thank you so much. Make sure to catch us next week. Once again, we are live Wednesdays at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, and we also have the show on Saturdays at 1 o'clock p.m. Thank you so much. We are on, once again, edibleaddiction.com. My name is Dr. Kirsten Grant. Bye.